Hi guys, this is Dave Bennett from themedhtml.com, and I'm very excited because this is going to be the first full day of our new backbone, the beginning of our backbone. We got our 16 websites done. We put them up, we kept finding mistakes and took them down, put them back up and correcting for things until we finally got them done, submitted the sitemaps, and it's already happening. It's since last night. It's not even been a whole day. Heck, it won't be for like another 5 hours. All right, let me just show you real quick. Of course, just so we know, make sure we're square. We're talking about the landing page expansion project. It is June 15th, just so we can place ourselves. If you want to know more about this project, just go to the main site, okay, themedhtml.com, and then hit this streamlined project, okay? That's where you can find out what we're doing and what it really means. Now we have the backbone started. Let me just show it to you. I'll just show you sample pages real quick, okay? So from one of the projects, sorry, we're starting at the bottom of the page, I was checking some links. So we have all these different sites, okay? Tier 2 websites. There are 16 of them, all right? They cover all the cities in the few states that we put up now, and I'm just showing you sample pages real quick for the front page of these cities. Since they all start off with brackets, emoji for the cities, if you know, we make sure to cover all the cities. So all the main pages start off with Auburn, but they're all uniquely written, so it's very, very cool. The positions you get on these, they're all hell-bent to get people to call the phone number. That's the whole point, okay? Now, you can't have Washington State. That belongs to somebody. But aside from that, you can have the rest of the nation on, what is it, 3 of these sites? We still have a number of positions open. A lot of people have been asking questions but haven't committed to buying because they've been waiting for me to answer their questions, and I haven't answered their questions yet because we kept pushing to get this thing done. All right, so I'm going to show you really, really fast what that means on this other picture. Take a look at this. Our main website, right? SellYourHome-now.com. A lot of people know that we've been working on that one. You guys have been picking up positions on that. That's great because we're going to bust it into the open soon. I just want to point this out. 20,600 pages there, and it's just picking up more as it goes through the folders, and it will blast open pretty soon. It's got to be evaluating lots and lots of pages right now, how many links to each page from other pages and so on, doing all the math in order to put up all the extra pages. So this is a really big deal. But take a look. I just want to point this out, okay? Our next biggest project so far, 5,160 pages. Our next one, about 5,000 pages. Anyone knowing or wondering if we can do this? The answer is absolutely. We just haven't put more pages out on any of these sites, but we certainly can. This 4,940 was a single run through the set of cities with a single point of view. We can do so much more with these projects. Do we just need more time? That's it. Now, as we produce more pages, that means more backlinks. It means more juice. Okay, and all through the tiers. Now I want to make some points. There's another 1,140 for another site. Okay, these sites that we've been putting up, look at that, 418. These are sites that we just put up. Okay, overnight home buyer 232, free from your house 134, leading home buyer 86, overnight property buyer 48. Okay, we have only started submitting the sitemaps, and these are the sites you want to get positions on. Every one of these will wind up with 40 or 50,000 pages each. Okay, just canvassing the nation through tons of states. All right, all with unique copywriting, all unique directions, and all of them are going to push stuff forward as we go. Okay, and now I'm getting down to the sites that really have not indexed yet. I organized the list because I was just trying to see where we were at so far. They're all going to come. They're all forming tier 2. Every one of those 16 sites that form tier 2 are each backlinking all the tier 1 websites. So each of the tier 1 websites is going to have lots of deeper page backlinking through each of 16 sites. Now, for most people, that project is bigger than anything you've ever done before. Most people, whether they get a T2HA website, whether they get a WordPress website, a Wix website, or anything else, Joomla, Weebly, whatever, they never go get backlinks. They might get a backlink or two just because they put that much effort in. They might get some citations, okay? But usually they don't go out and get other backlinks from other related pages. This is a case where what we're building, it has enough fodder on it to relate to lots of things. If we do links for plumbing, if we do links for roofing, if we do links for electrical work, HVAC, you name it, financing, computers, anything relates to houses one way or another, especially when you have the kind of content that we have on a page. 8,000 words on a page. you can put a lot on a page. Okay, and also you can relate by geotarget. Pest control, again, comes right back to houses. Lots of things have to do with houses. Matter of fact, before I sidetrack too much, I want to put this idea in your head just for those people who never thought this one through. When you see developers create a neighborhood, okay, and then they run off and go create another neighborhood somewhere else another year or whatever. Here's kind of what that means to all the guys who do home services. The plumbers, the roofers, the electricians, the pest control guy. It means this. All the houses in one area are aging at the same time. So think about what that means. You know how cool that is for the roofer to know which set of houses is approaching 15 years old, 18 years old, 20 years old, and which set are not? Because if you can get a bunch of your roofing jobs in one area and another bunch in a different area, then you can have all of your resources for different homes going to the same direction at the same time. It's efficient. Same thing happens for plumbers. They love it when the pipes start to get rusty in one neighborhood if they were all set up by a developer at once. That means that a lot of houses in that area are going to have the same problems almost at the same time. You know, within a year or two of each other, you're just going to be driving that direction a lot. May as well figure that out. Now, some guys even go ahead and rent little storage spaces to put a bunch of raw materials in to be closer to the area that they're going to wind up servicing over the next year or two. Okay, that's just a loose tidbit. Let me get off of that, point some other things out. We're looking at stuff like the potential for grabbing traffic in any one area or another. I'm going to explain what this means soon, but let me just point this out. If you were in the Milwaukee, where is that? I did a search for Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and the surrounding area because this is a campaign we're working on now for bed bugs. So we just got this thing launched. We were curious how many searches per month. Okay, about 4,720 searches per month just in that one area. How big is Milwaukee? About 1.6 million people in the greater Milwaukee area, which is an interesting thing because we start to come back to areas again and see their general size. It's like 20 million here, 13 million there, 9 million here. You know, so basically up to 10 million, okay? But down to, you know, you get far enough down, you're going to be at like 3 million, 2 million, 1 million, you know, and then below that somewhere. But even then, you're at like the top 50 metro areas, the top 50, all right, are all over 1 million in that bigger metro area. Now, that's interesting because if you think about that, then try to do some math, you know, on any particular things. And you understand where the numbers are coming from, like 4,300 per month, something like that for whatever the numbers are. All right. So now let me get back to my point. I want to make sure to make these points clear because this stuff is pretty important where we are. Let me talk about this real fast. I want to get back to the websites and make this other point clear so that you can tie these ends together because this really matters. If I come here, what was I doing at the bottom of the page anyway? I want to make a point. If I come down here, okay, need other resources for whatever, you know, a fast home sell, for pest control, for plumbing, for roofing, DUI lawyer. Choose from these great options today. Now, my point for all these things is that we're going to be tying all these together. But here's the point. Take a look at these links. This is for Idaho, Virginia, California, Utah, Florida, Georgia. What do you think these are? Individual pages, if you click them, on the big project, the 20,600 page indexed sellyourhomenow.com website, the tier 1 that all you guys were joining. Okay. By the way, we aren't forgetting the rest of you tier 1 guys. We're taking care of all these as we line up the different states that we're doing now. Now take a look. That means each of you guys are getting juice to your individual pages from 16 websites. Okay. Now this is really important. You guys didn't pay for this if you're tier 1 and you bought your positions in the tier 1. I want you to understand that this is the whole point. As more people buy in, everyone who buys in will be covered by the guys who buy in next. That's why it's cool to buy in earlier, get your positions earlier. It just means you're getting interwoven earlier. Now I want to make this point. You could come through all these pages in this particular project and say, wow, they're all pointing at the main page of my site. Yes, each of the state-based projects are going to do that. There's also like New Mexico, okay? And if you come down through the New Mexico listings, okay, then you're going to find that they also do something like that as well. Now you might say, okay, so you're going to have like, you know, by the time you're done, if you do 50 states per website, then that's going to be 50 backlinks to that particular page of my project per website or whatever it is, because we're shuffling through these. But what about the rest of those pages? That's what I want to make sure you understand too. See, these are only the front pages because this is the front page itself. It's New Mexico / index.html, right? But what about the deeper level pages up in here? Check this out. If I go to one of these pages, happens to be here, right? So there's a deeper level page in the New Mexico series, okay? What about the links that are down here? When you're motivated to sell, right? When you're motivated to sell. But these are the when you're motivated to sell on the Sell Your Home, okay? And you can see that down here in the links, right? These are deeper level pages all throughout. And there's a mix. Many are matched because it's good to match, then some are not because it's good to not, okay? It's on purpose. And everyone's covered this way, okay? And everyone's got pages for them this way. This is a big, big deal that forces tier 1s to rank hard and tier 2s to be pulled up by association. Yes, all 16 of these websites are running that way. When you're seeing Google index these pages, that is exactly what's going on. I could go to any deeper level page inside that website, scroll down, and check it out. Same thing now, deeper level pages of your projects, whatever you bought, okay? Your stuff is getting covered in this way. Now, that's going to force your pages up. And also, if you're buying these tier 2 assets, these are going to get pulled up by association. The more you own, the more you make. So let me take that to come back around to a different point. Where should I go next? I'll go here. One of the projects that just got indexed recently, you know, because these pages are growing, right? Again, just to make this clear, this is the tier 1 website. The tier 1 distressed home website, I should say, 20,600 pages. Let me go to a specific folder, New Jersey, where 21 results are now popping up. And if I look, I see some city names, Englewood, you know, Sell Your Home now in Englewood. There's Hackensack, We Buy Your Ugly Homes. There's Ridgewood, you know, Rapid Real Estate, Your Unsold Home is our problem, whatever it is. So just to look, okay, sellyourhome-now.com, just try to remember that for New Jersey. Check this out. We buy your ugly Hackensack house fast. That's a pretty good keyword, especially for people who hear this ugly thing all the time as being a house that's bad, because it's used a lot, okay? Well, you got your 1 hour home buyers guys up here. These guys with the 40,000 page website, by the way, with lots of pages backlinking them from other websites. This is what we're building. Okay, then we've got your We Buy Houses. Now, if somebody happened to own all these properties, okay, if they own them like assets, these particular folders for these states, okay, and they got paid every time the phone rang, you realize immediately why it's good to own a bunch of properties on a single page, okay? Anyway, I want to point this out. We are on this front page, okay? And that's pretty cool. Let me see if I can... Yeah, 7,208,000 results, right? I guess with the T. Yeah, and we are on that page, on the front page, okay? We haven't deserved it yet, except for the 16 powerful related websites we put out that are backlinking these projects and have links to these particular pages. Look at that. Impossible to Sell House. That might have been one of the backlinks I was just showing you. I'm not even sure. All right, from one of the other sites. Okay, because we were just looking at a New Jersey link, deeper backlink there. Let me point something else out. Sell Your Old Englewood Home Now. That's not a bad one, right? Take a look at this. 3 million results, and here we are, number 4. Why don't we also have more of the results here? Well, we need more of the sites to have pages that are for Englewood, home or house, sell or buy. We need a bunch of pages per site, but then we can get a bunch of these results on each page, me show you another one. Must sell Ridgewood home now. Okay, where is it? Right there. Okay, 21,800,000 results. Here we are. What makes your pages rank? Backlinks. How do you make your backlinks rank? Backlinks to those backlinks. Our tier 3 is already underway. Okay, it's not done yet. We still have a lot more to do before we get there. But then those 25 websites are each going to backlink each of the 16 websites that backlink each of the tier 1 websites. It's pretty amazing for everyone involved. And it's a reason to own these assets because you can be multiple front page results on any one page. I want to point this out in case anyone forgot. Garden Grove Factoring, some city in California just comes to mind. People used to say, oh yeah, there's the OCUp.com website, right? Then they're like, oh yeah, that's from the example, right? That's exactly this website that we were showing in the example. So the question is, how many of the results do we own on this page? And the answer is basically all of them. All of them. They're all ours. It's ours, 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 ours. Now, what happens if you were doing the search because you were looking for someone to handle your invoices? And you're like, wow, interesting. That reads well, that reads well, that reads well, that reads well. Let me click on that one, and guess what? That's the whole point. That one that just got clicked on, it's one of ours. It's one of ours. So when they decide to go ahead and buy one of these things, it's one of ours. Isn't that nuts? That's what you want. That's what we're doing, is this entire project, okay? This is why you're hanging in there and letting us get our work done. Now, in the meantime, I want to point something else out. This is really important and pretty interesting. Our cold caller is getting really good at landing calls, okay? So we got pest control, roofing. We'll do auto towing next. We haven't gotten to it yet. Haven't had the time. Just got done with E16, the tier 2. Okay, and tier 3's underway, so we're working on tier 4 now. So that's going to be auto towing, and we're going to have like a whole mix of sites coming out. It's pretty amazing. Let me step back. What do I want to say? There are no more tier 1 positions open. Tier 1 guys who are buying tier 2 positions get a huge benefit. I haven't explained it because I'll just save that for you guys. Contact me. When I contact you because you bought, I'll explain it to you and you'll see what's going on. Because of course, when you buy early, you get benefits. Tier 2 guys, get in, man. Tier 2 guys can get benefits too. It's still early and it's your money that's making it possible for us to build this massive backbone. Okay. I had somebody ask, and then I had somebody ask later. If we're all getting the front pages of these results, doesn't mean that we're competing with each other. Okay. I want to make I want to make this point clear again, just in case anybody's not getting it. Where was I at? I don't remember anymore. So maybe it was on the other end. No? Okay, never mind. Here's the point I want to make. It is the guy who's making all his money with a factoring example has 400 websites in play. Now, when somebody goes, if you're doing other jobs with other projects or other states, you know, coming up on these results, aren't we competing with ourselves? The answer is you would rather that we are owning the page together as a unit, working them up as a unit, than you versus 9 other guys you're competing with anyway. Okay? If we get you the front page result for a keyword times 10,000 keywords, we get you on the front page for that. You are always competing with 9 competitors anyway, organically, plus whoever else is doing ours. You're competing with them all anyway, okay? So anyone who says, well, which is better? That's a good question. The answer is it's better if we do these projects together because they pull each other together. They all work together. They all come up together. And then people can choose whatever catches their personality, and they just think that makes the most sense to me. But we want all these to be our projects. If it's you versus other guys, those other guys have no interest in helping you, no interest in sharing their secrets with you, no interest in backlinking you, no interest in teaching you anything. But if we're doing all these together as a unit, we can watch that the AdWords don't compete against each other because we'll pay attention to that. We can watch that everyone's getting their share. We can watch that everything's moving fully, and we can shove all the pages up together for all of these on our own. And that's how we get buyers. Back to the cold caller. He tried pest control for the first time in Milwaukee, landed 2 guys paying $18.50 each for the hard call. And we haven't even turned our attention yet to selling the actual call lead info along with that. We'll deal with that next because this is another question. Should we offer them to the same company right away? Well, we should probably get some leads coming through first to make sure we dialed it in. So we said, okay, let's make one website about one of them very specifically, one web page. And so we did bed bugs in Milwaukee. And we're running a campaign specific to bed bugs in Milwaukee. All right. And the point is, let's dial it in and make it strong. Oh, that's where this came from, by the way. The whole thing about bed bugs in this area, 7 selected locations. We were just curious what's possible. 4,720 searches, right? Well, our campaign's a call-only search, so it only shows up on mobile phones. So it's only going to be some percentage of that. But still, we got a number of impressions, got to raise the bid, get over the curve. Remember, you guys have seen the video that even if you're destined for very low cost per click, you still have to go over a hump to get there. And I had that broken down pretty well in the video. Nobody was asking questions, so I think you guys got it. If you got any questions over it, give me a call, especially if you're looking at getting into AdWords for any of your projects or taking any of your pages and you want to dive in, you got questions before doing it. We are going to wind up needing to get a bunch of cold callers and AdWords guys before long. And we've had some people start to make offers, so I should put this out before I forget. Any of you guys out there who want to do cold calling for particular industries, there's money in it for you. Anybody out there who is certified at AdWords, okay, and don't play around because we have a pretty good clue. We know what we're talking about when it comes to AdWords, okay? So don't just be willy-nilly, I want to run AdWords. It's not going to happen, all right? But for those of you who understand AdWords and you're good at it and you can show things that you've done for others and you just want to play ball, there can be money in that for you because these are functions worthy of a lot. Now, I'm going to come back to another point, and that's this. A lot of people don't understand the value of increments and the value of figuring out where we're going. I want to make this abundantly clear. Let's use a calculator. Let me start with this basic concept, and then I'll bring it back to AdWords, okay? And we're still, organic is where we're going with all this stuff anyway. But it's true that AdWords is a way of forcing cash today, forcing clicks to happen now, forcing pay to happen now. And the question is, how much over can I make? And if I can make over and I can kind of compound it, how far can I go? Well, you can only go to that many searches in one city for bed bugs, right? We still have termites, rodents, spiders. We still have moles. We still have bees and wasps. And that's in Milwaukee. And then when we get all that figured out, what can we do? We can still extrapolate these things that we're doing state by state by state. And that's just in pest control. Times all the websites, times all the locations. If you think 10 front page positions times the whole US, then you're talking about 500 front page results if you measure by state. What if you measure by major metro area? And you said there's 2,500 major cities, or I don't care, say 50 major metro regions, times 15, that'd be, times 15 topics that people are searching for, like bed bugs versus termites versus spiders versus rats versus molds. Then you've got 750 different campaigns running side by side just with pest control. Well, what about roofing? What about electricians? What about HVAC? What about auto towing? What about DUI? Let alone distressed homes. What about all these things? Okay. And the margins are huge on these, and some of these get a lot of traffic. DUI, we were looking up the stats for that. It's pretty amazing. Let me come back to this point, though, because I want to make this clear. Let's say here was your plan and your goal, okay? This is important. Most people, they're kind of in a rush, and they forget. Don't try to break everything down to the 24-hour period as either a win or a loss. What's the saying? It's you will always overestimate what you can accomplish in one day. You will always underestimate what you can accomplish in 1 month. Those are almost contradictory statements, it would seem, but that's because we're thinking too small. We think about a day as being the whole of an event. Did I make money today or not? I don't know who taught us to be that short-sighted, but it's unrealistic. The plan is like this. Now, here's where people lost their way on that. They don't understand the multiplicative gain, and I want to make that really clear right now, really clear. Let's say that your plan was this. You're going to put $1,000 into a thing every year. You're just going to add 1,000 each year, okay? You're going to keep your money in play. And your goal, let's say it's retirement. Let's say you're getting close to retiring, okay? Let's say you're 60 and you love to retire by 67 and you'd love to be making 100 grand a year on just completely on the side. What's that possible with? Let me just show you that simple break-even concept. And of course, we're not talking about 7 years, but I want to start there. I want to make this point really clear. So here's your only goal. You try to double the money you have in play each year. That gives you a whole year to figure out how to utilize that money. So we're going to start with $1,000. Okay, so at the end of the year, we want to have it doubled times 2. And let's say we did. So what are we going to do? We're going to add the next $1,000, right? That's just the plan that we have for ourselves. Every time we hit our goal, we add another 1,000. Okay, we're being ambitious about this, but I just want to show how these numbers work. What about the next year? Well, that's times 2 plus $1,000. 7,000. That's not bad either, because we put in 1,000 at year 0 plus the number of fingers I have up. So we put in 3,000. Now we have 4,000 profit off of it at the end of 2 years. What about the next year? Right? 15,000 by the 3rd year. Things are changing out there. We only put 4K in. We got over 10K profit out at the end of 3 years. Still doesn't sound fascinating, but we're starting to pay attention now, aren't we? Now, as we're growing, we're saying, okay, this campaign works, so we're going to increment it across some cities. That campaign works, so we're going to start to increment it across some cities. Can we move faster? Yeah. Way faster? Yeah. But let me just stick to this. So times 2 plus 1,000. That's the end of the 4th year, okay? Now we're at 31K times 2 plus 1,000. 5 years in, we put in 6,000. We got more than 60,000 out, okay? Again, don't think here. Push and aim for if you plan it sensibly and you grow sensibly, okay, you can make it happen. People who try to do this usually crash. Now, don't forget, we've been building this for years. And so we are not newbies at what we're doing at all. No, we are senior. And we are just now putting all the, well, just 2 months ago, we've been putting all this together in such a way, 3 months ago maybe. And now people are picking up into it and it's starting to really grow like crazy. So what did we say? We were, what, 5 years? Was that 5 years? Times 2 plus 1,000. That's 6 years. Now, 6 years in and 7,000, and we've made 120,000 profit on top of that original 7,000 spread evenly over 6 years, starting with 1,000 down and then 1,000 per year. Well, now when we double this, you're talking about 127,000. That's year lucky number 7. Okay? Lucky number 7 times 2 plus 1,000. Okay? 7 years in, from if you were 60 and you just had that slow, the turtle wins the race attitude towards growth, incremental and sensible growth, you are making a lot of money at the end of 7 years, even with the slowest possible approach to this I can imagine. Now let's step back. What if this was about managing AdWord campaigns? 2 things change. 1, the amount of money we're dealing with. 2, the amount of time it takes to figure out how to expand. Does it really take us a year to figure out how to double our money? If we have clients who are willing to pay $18.50 a call now, in just pest control, and in roofing, that's $58 a call. Our cold callers landing deals at $58 a call. We have now heard from a guy in the distressed home industry that makes $30,000 profit on a sale that takes him like 15 to 20 calls to receive, who's willing to pay out profits. We're really learning what we're doing. And we want to get all these distressed home websites for the tier 2 up. You guys really want to own these positions and as many as you can in one state. Okay, I'm not kidding. all right, because this is going to just pay out like mad. AdWords. Let me just point out AdWords, okay? Separate from organic. I want to make this point really clear. Let's say we started the first day with a goal of getting one sale at $2.50, okay? And let's say that the profit we made off of that was 2.5 times the profit, okay? Times 2.5. Why? It's kind of the reverse way of looking at it. It's saying instead of 1850, you know, you paid 2.5 and you got $6.25 back, you know, minus the original 250, okay? 375. Why am I saying that? A lot of reasons. Maybe the ad will cost more than 2.5 with the other guys fighting. On average, they're going to drop off. They're going to come back. They're going to drop off. That's just the average side of the house, though. The average is still going to be really, really good because of the way we go long tail, the way we build in the tiering, the way we drive up the quality score of the pages. We can just simply outrank everyone because of the way we play this game. Now, and all the sites that we have to work with, okay, and going detailed into each of the pests, each of the pages. Let me make this point though, dummy way of doing it. Another way of explaining why the profit's not so high either is this. Say you have people working together on this. I'll give you an example. The cold caller needs to make a cut, right? He works on commissions and he calls everyone all day long. And I'll explain why he needs to soon. Well, heck, you can understand it. What happens when we outdo Milwaukee, okay, for one particular term? You know, we outdo one city for one term. Well, we need to make a deal for the next thing and a deal for the next thing. Now, in the case where we can make deals for a bunch of related things, that's great. Like bed bugs, termites, rodents, ants, bees can all fall under the same company who's paying for the leads. And then we can still sell the call lead info off separately. But let me make this point. Again, people miss this and they shouldn't. Let's say that each day we're going to take all the money we got back and we're going to reinvest it, okay? Because every day we're aiming for the increment. And again, now this is kind of the other side of the spectrum. First I said once a year we're doubling our money. Now I'm going to say every day we're going to make 2.5 times our money. The reality will fall in the middle somewhere. Obviously, we got cold callers who got to land deals with each next pest control company nationwide, each next roofer nationwide, electrician, HVAC, auto, DUI, and distressed homes. And at the same time, maybe we have other guys who are running AdWords accounts, managing them so that you don't have to, okay? If everyone can comfortably get their cut, and if after the cut you still make 2.5 times your money back, let's say that was happening, okay? So your first day was 2.5, okay, times, let's say by the next day. So that was a Monday. So by Tuesday, you'll be to 6.25. Let's say you spend it back into ads, okay? Just somehow it neatly fit perfectly into a certain number of clicks. I'm just going to be blank on that and say all you did was start with $2.50. We're not going to add anything. We're just going to reinvest 100% of what we get for like a couple of weeks. What does that become? Well, by the next day, that's 2.5 times that. We're up to $15. Okay, so what was that? That's Wednesday now. We start on Monday, went to Tuesday, Wednesday. Here we are on Wednesday. What about Thursday? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, the next Monday. Okay, $1,525 by the close of that Monday, if you were to think of it that way. Okay, so this is like a weekend plus that day, right? What about by the next Monday if we just keep this up? Because we only started with $2.50 and let everyone do their share and the profit got split. We were only taking 2.5 times out as the guy who did the financing, the guy who creates the websites and gets them the scores of the pages up and the detail and the depth and everything else. That's worth a cut. Okay, that's me. The guys who do the AdWords campaigns, if that could be you yourself, but if you're not good at that, let's get a guy on AdWords campaigns for you. And the guy who does a cold calling, right? Who lands all these deals, and then when we getting too many clicks for one city, then we got to land the deals for the next city, right? That's why we constantly want that guy working. So if everyone's just taking a share of the commissions, it's insane money. How fast? Let's think about this. What about the next week? So this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we're talking about almost 1 million, in 2 weeks. Wow. Now, here's the problem with that. How many clicks would we need for that million? Okay, if we said that we had that and it was going to be spent, divided by 2.5 at $2.50 each. Well, somehow we need to absorb 372,529 clicks. That's not going to happen on bed bugs in Milwaukee. Okay, it just won't. All right. Even if we were getting every click there is on bed bugs in Milwaukee, right? We're still not absorbing 372,529. This is why this stuff doesn't happen that fast, right? We have to land the deals with the different people, show them what we got, get them that. But I tell you what, coming back to short-sightedness versus long-sightedness, if we make bed bugs work in Milwaukee, we can copy that to every other city now. It becomes very quick. We just need our cold caller to land the deals and send the guys over. If we get termites going, we can land the deals, send the guys over. If we get, and keep going and keep going and keep going, okay? Again, this is on the outward side of the house. Then you can find a way to fill up 300,000, 400,000 clicks a day. Is it possible? I think so, yes. I haven't done the math on all of the different kind of pests nationwide with all the demands I have, but don't forget we have over 300 million people in this country. How many households then? I don't know, maybe 100 million households in the country. If 1 in 100 a month had some reason to call a pest control guy, that means like of all the houses out your window, 1 in 100 once a month has a reason to call, and that was the average. Okay, whether it's for bed bugs, termites, rodents, ants, anything, bees especially in the summer, right? Then that's insane, right? That's just insane. That's 1 million a month divided by 30. That's the potential. What about DUI? I want to point that out. And we can do psychic networks because there's tons of money in that. We can do datelines. There's tons of money in that. I haven't even started. Okay, we can take over as we go. Just get in and get positions. Look at this. Bed bug searches in Milwaukee, 47.20 a month is 157 a day. If we were able to get $16 profit off of each click, 157 that gets split, that's 2,500 a day that everyone who's involved in making that happen gets paid. 2,500 a day just for bed bugs, just in Milwaukee. Now, I'm not going to have any of you guys competing with each other. The guy who's doing the AdWords campaigns for bed bugs in Milwaukee, do you really think it would be wise if we got some other guy on some other website also doing an AdWords campaign for bed bugs in Milwaukee? No, they'll be competing with each other, okay? Why do you want to be first in? Because now we're going to work with you there. We're not going to help the other guys in that direction. We're going to dissuade them from doing identically the same thing. It's a bad idea, right? But, no, here's another great question too. People would say this. 157 a day. What company can possibly handle 157 calls a day in Milwaukee for bed bugs? And the answer is you're right. One company cannot do that. But we round robin the phone calls. We got 2 guys paying $18.50 each. We could also sell the leads probably for $8 each. Okay, to 2 guys each. That would be another $32 for every round robin trip. Okay, so it'd be like 16 plus 18 and a half each and every call. Now that means that we're feeding leads to 4 companies at once just from that routine and getting paid for all of it. Can we do that with all you guys? Yes, that's just it. The reason that we need cold callers and AdWords guys, and that's not hard because it's funny when you have all the pieces and all you have to do is tell cold caller to put them together because we're backing it organically, AdWords, wherever people are making deals, other people are going to want to flock and start funding that. Whoever owns the asset, whoever's providing the cash, whoever is doing the AdWords for them, whoever is cold calling, everybody gets a cut. But we can just grow forever on this and take up all the front pages, the front page spots organically as well. It's insane money. I want to make a point. DUI arrest statistics, about 1.5 million a year. Okay, that's 4,110 a day every day on average, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, every day on average across the nation, police are handcuffing 4,110 people. That's insane. The thing that's really sad about that is 28 people are dead. So out of the 4,110, at least 28 of them are realizing the shock that that's going to mean. But getting back to the basics, most of those guys don't have to deal with anything that crazy. Okay. So, daily average. Oh yeah, that's the daily average number of people arrested. Something like that is like 11. It comes down to. Okay. Annually in truck driving accidents, yeah. Arrested annually per day. Oh, I see. I overlapped two things that I shouldn't have overlapped. This is incorrect. Clear contents. I just dragged and dropped down these. That already is the average number of people arrested daily for drunk driving, 4,110. Okay, check this out. Per day, per state. Okay, so when we're doing DUI, we're looking at these routines. This is what's open to us. Okay, because every one of those guys, every day, 4,110 of them need to call a DUI lawyer. This is every day. So they're doing searches on Google and they are clicking things. They're trying to self-educate, but you cannot self-educate yourself out of this. You might be able to get rid of your own pests. Heck, you might be able to fix your own roof, but you can't talk yourself out of your DUI charge, right? You need a lawyer. These guys have to get them. They are looking, okay? Another thing that happens every time, 4,110, most of those times, a tow truck is getting called, okay? So there's at least like, what would you say, 3/4 of those? There's not someone else in the car who can drive it home. At least 3/4 of those. So there's at least 3,000 tow trucks a night being called to come and pick up a vehicle. Now, some of those are on deals, very constant deals with the cops, and they're just going to call the right guy. But then a number are going to be sort of on the boondocks, like who's available to pick up the car. I don't know how that stuff works, but I'm just pointing out that that is a submarket of towing. When you think about it, it's insane. Okay. So just the numbers are insane. The profit's insane. Even share splits is insane. What if you had, even organically, let's say we could capture 5% of the total market and we were getting like a daily profit. If we sold the ring and 2 times a call lead, the potential daily profit, if it was 150, is 616,000 per day if we could capture all of them. Now we can't. So let's say that we can capture like 5% of them. Still talking about 11.25 million a year coming in to work with. Okay. So what would that be on a per state position held? Like one of the 500 spots. Okay. That's this thing right here. And if you're curious about the math, look at that. Divided by 500, P63 is this. P63 divided by 500. That means 50 states times 10 front page organic positions. Okay. Per state position held. What positions did you buy? Each one of those is going to be worth, on average, 22,500. Now, of course, there's going to be a lot of fluctuation in that. Of course, they're not going to be even, Steven. DUI is DUI. It happens where it happens in different cities and states, wherever. But we're going to work with you guys to get you guys filled in for the highest that we can. And so we'll be arranging this list by percentage, or I'm sorry, by the number of arrests in the area, and work you guys from the top down. Guys who buy in first, you get more out of it. Buy in first, you get more out of it. I got another question. What about those of you who decide you're going to get 10 co-op positions, right? You say, I want to own all of them. So everything that we're getting on the front page, right? In just metro area by metro area and pushing as hard as we can. What happens if you own 10? Then instead of just getting 5,600 on like a share, like that's what I was going through here. Sorry, I'm doing the math too fast, right? 22,000 per state position held. Even if you said there were a total of 4 participants and hours involved, and I just kind of ran the whole idea through just to get some numbers down, then the share for each participant would be what? Be like 5,625, and this is for a position that cost you 600 to 800 for a tier 1, tier 2 position. Okay. Well, what if you had a full website? Okay. that would be a cost of $2,495. You could walk away with something like $281,250 for that one site. Just give us time. Don't be here. Let us do our bit, okay? Let us stair step this thing up, because everyone's going to benefit by the time we're done. Share on 10 co-op positions per state. That's having 10 of these. Again, what if you actually owned all of these instead of just one of them? Okay. Well, it'd be more like this, 56,250 that you got for a cost, a one-time cost of 600 to 800. Now, we're splitting the profits with you guys, and a lot of people are coming back and saying, Dave, if you're actually splitting the profits 50-50 and the guy's only spent that much, aren't you losing a lot of money to him? No. Why? Imagine if this was really like an MLM. Imagine if it was like a force matrix. I don't care. What do you think happens when people start to make money on assets like these? Now, mean to imply that this is an investment. Of course it's not, okay? It's the crapshoot of buying positions, letting us work, getting the sales out of them that you get out of them. This is not something like stocks, and I'm not going to claim investment because that's illegal. But the reality check is, if you're making good cash off of these individual holdings, right? By our standard agreement, you're funding, we're doing the work, and splitting the money. Then what in the world would stop you from coming back for more, buying more assets and more industries as we launch them? So it's on us to launch more industries, more websites, more industries, do more runs, get big and massive. So I figure you're going to come back with a healthy chunk of the money you make from us and reinvest it into more. Do you have to? No, but it'd be nuts not to. As we keep unfolding this, it's greater and greater and greater for everyone involved. So for those of you who want to buy more positions now, you just want to own more of the top, that's what I meant. It's important to do. Come back and get those positions. We're feeding you in the right way. How do you do it? Get on this page, right? The landing page, expansion project. If you're not sure how, just come here. This is the main website. Hit Streamline Project. Okay. Once you get here, the options are down below. Okay. Order form. Fill in this stuff. We need it for just regular tax purposes for us because we're registered in Washington State. So we just need your first name, email address, the state you're in the country. That's it. State, province, territory if you're outside the U.S. Okay, whatever's like that, all right? Why? Because if you do not tell us what state you're in, Washington State assumes you live in Washington State and charges us sales tax because you live here. All right, just so you know. All right, full ownership project. You pay, we do everything. Get a whole website to yourself. That's the $24.95, and that's exactly what I was talking about here as being this thing, right? Have a whole website about whatever the project is, and it can be a healthy chunk of cash that comes back your way because we're going to keep interweaving all those links. And what does that mean? I showed you back here, okay? All these sites, when you scroll down, yeah, I want to make sure I'm on one of these sites, hello, which, like that, you know, whatever. And you come back down, and you're seeing all the links that point into your projects are down here. And then if you come up and go into any of these deeper level links, okay, and we come down, they're pointing into the deeper level pages of your websites. And we decided only 10 outbound links per page for the main project. So we don't bleed the link just too thin per page. You know, and aside from that, we have external authority links that are valuable. Okay, so we've got links for information here. We've got links built in here. We've got links for more stuff here. Okay, read more about Mercer Island, Washington, if you wanted to do that. And it takes you to mercerislandhistory.org and breaks down about Mercer Island. Okay, that's how we get higher rank on these projects. That too, scheme on everything else, everything's involved. This is why this project's such a big deal. All right, so get on the webpage, scroll down, and go ahead and pick it up, right? It's the whole thing. You can get the whole one and just buy it, okay? Or you can make 2 partial payments if you want to make a payment to get it kicked off and then a payment when it's finished. All right, just tell us the industry you want. Okay, level 2, if you want to buy into something that exists now and you want to be on that tier 2 That's what's open right now. Tier 2 is open. You would not want to choose Tier 3 or Tier 4 if you can get Tier 2 positions. But that is those sites with positions on those sites. We have 3 sites left that have open positions on them for the states. Everything else is pretty much taken up. Move quick, all right, and get in this, all right? We'll find a way to make sure that you're Tier 2 if you're getting in this thing now, okay? And again, keep in mind the time of the video. That can't last forever, but it'll last for, I don't know, another week. Get as many Tier 2 positions as you want, okay? And don't forget, you Tier 1 guys, there are benefits for you. I'm not going to try to explain all that publicly because it just, makes other people jealous. Tier 1 guys have a right to a little more, and they get more. What industry do you want? What state do you want? And by the way, for everyone else, those numbers hold. Nothing changes, okay? If you do this, you could get that. If you happen to get a stack of 10, you could get that, all right? Nothing changes for you guys at all. The deal is exactly what we say it is, okay? Tier 1 is different. That's coming out of our profits, not yours, okay? So don't worry about that. But okay, what industry do you want? What state do you want? And if you just put choose for me, we'll walk down sensibly from the top because we're just going to go through these things in the right order, right? For the states you want for the different projects, okay, this is the estimated population in each of these areas for those metropolitan areas, okay? And then for states, if you're curious, all right, states have their own population counts. So that's a big deal. And so we're walking it through sensibly based on what we see is important to do for you. Everyone's getting paid. I don't care if you bought in on Tier 50. Okay. Somebody say, what if you reach the bottom of the MLM scheme? The answer is there's no such thing. Unlike a regular MLM, we can take links from up here that are getting link juice, any of these tiers at the top, and we can still point them down at the bottom to get them juice too. You might think, isn't that cyclical? And the answer is no. It would be if we were just going main page to main page of the site, but we're not. This is interwoven through deeper level pages on all the sites. So no, this is this massive, I keep trying to put it as spiral staircases, all the handrails sort of interweaving all the way through. And that's how Google follows the links. It's literally page by page, not site by site. And so when you do this kind of thing correctly, then Google loves it. And that's what we're doing. It's bringing everyone up and it's getting everyone paid. And it's back to you. Thank you. Because you guys have been listening. You guys have been reacting. You guys have been buying. You guys have been very patient, waiting for us to get back to you with news. Some of you guys are curious and you just ask, hey, can I get a progress report? Perfectly fine. I'd take time off and talk with some of you guys. You wind up laughing by the end and saying, you should have made a video out of that for everyone. Just, yeah, sorry I took up all your time on the phone, but hang in there. We are building this. It's really happening. And this thing's going to explode open soon. And just as a reminder, any of you guys who are actually interested in doing cold calling, you know how, and you're just curious about how to get this on a roll, get a hold of me. Any of you guys who happen to know AdWords really well, by the time we're done, we're probably going to want 50 cold callers and 50 AdWords personnel handling AdWords accounts, overseen by somebody who watches over AdWords guys. So the guys who are leaping in first and learning this stuff first, you have the most call to what's coming up. Just remember, you really have to be an expert at what you do. You have to be good at what you do. We're good at what we do, and everyone's buying into us to make sure that we're watching out for their interests. So if you're good at what you do, give us a buzz. We'd love to plug you in because this thing's really just growing amazingly fast, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. All right, thank everybody. Thank you, for being involved, participating, watching these insanely long videos that cover lots and lots of stuff where I try to make it quick. Get in, get going, figure out what you do or don't want to buy. If you want to get this, just down here, hit this for the co-op, and it's telling you $600, right? Just decide the industry you want or choose for me. Decide the state you want or choose for me. If you just want us to do it, we'll do it. That way you can just get plugged in all the sooner, all the faster, right? Hit buy. But if you have a particular interest because you do your own thing, you do roofing or credit repair or psychic reading or whatever it is you do, and you want to do this for you, and if you're working in one or another state, you want to do it for you, okay? Put those things in, hit buy, because of course we can make this work for you. All right. And if you guys want to do this for you and you want to be able to split profits with some of the guys so that, you know, the cold callers don't need to call you, you're already in, uh, and or you know how to run hours, and you're just looking for other guys to go promoting you or this whole package to promote you, the payments coming in from people to lead towards growth in your direction. If we know where people are paying attention and tying knots, we can already move there first. Okay. Anyone and everyone that wants to get in. All right. We're taking care of all of you guys. The distressed homes thing. By the time we get these sites indexed and they're backlinking the first, they start to take over multiple front page positions. We're getting calls. And when we do, it's nothing to sell those off. Those guys are hungry. Everyone in every industry is hungry for leads anyway. But those guys are extremely hungry. You can tell because there are just so few players taking care of all of them. Those guys are really hungry for those assets. All right. I am happy you came. Again, just go to the front page of our site, themed.html.com. I'll make sure there's a link in the description. Hit Streamline Project and get anything and everything you want to get. If you want to get a whole site or two or three, if you want to get a bunch of co-ops, and if you want to do a big bulk thing, get a hold of me first. Let's agree on something. I can invoice you for it separate from this list. All right. Those of you who want to get in, get in. It's really good that you do now. Tier 1, Tier 2. Tier 1's done. Tier 2's filling. Tier 3's taken. And that's Tier 4. And Tier 4 is going to be the big thing next. I'm going to jump this over to Tier 4 soon. Okay? Get in before then. All right. Talk to you soon. Take care. Thanks a lot for watching.